Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's edition of Trail Boss Saturday Mornings Outdoors. My name is Paul K, and I did a little bushwhacking and exploring, like I'm always telling you guys to do, and it paid off. What this week's program is going to be about is trying new things. My house is on that side, right about where I'm pointing, but about a half a mile up. I can't access this body of water, which is in the back of my house, from my property. At one time, I had tried cutting a trail through there with a machete, and I was doing a good job until I got about, I don't know, an eighth of a mile in, making a really nice trail, and all of a sudden I see these notes on the trees, don't do this and all that. And it's public land, but I just wanted to be able to access this area. I've never fished it. Well, I think I fished this place once. It's a pond in back of my house, and I have a few acres, and it abuts in the back there, so it's all woods. But this is in back of the woods, and I just can't get to it. So I circumnavigated my neighborhood and found one way in. I'm sure there's many other ways in, but I'm gonna try this. It's really not deep here. It's relatively shallow. I don't think it's more than chest deep all the way through. It goes around that bend there too, pretty big. And this is a more remote area of this, and I'm gonna give it a whirl and see what's going on. It's the beginning of May, so I'm thinking bass are gonna be spawning or pre-spawn on their beds in our area in New England, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So stay tuned, we're gonna see where this takes us, and I'm taking my own advice. And that's my life story. Trail Boss, let you know. So I fished this a few years ago, ice fishing, and it's kind of a strange trip that was. I caught some perch out of here, but I didn't stay long because there was a good 4 or 5 inches of ice, but I have never in my life seen ice as clear as that, and it kind of creeped me out because you're literally walking on air. That's how clear that ice was, and it just creeped me out. It was plenty thick, you know. I punched holes with the spud and everything just to check, but I just didn't feel comfortable. It was so clear, and it was like you were levitated over. You could see every inch on the bottom, and not good for the fish below either. I'm sure they could see my silhouette up against the sky, but I managed to eke out a few smaller panfish, but that's the extent of my experience with this here. So we're gonna see what I can do, see what I can figure out. Pretty little place, quiet. I don't know, the local kids might know about it, but gotta give it a whirl. And today's setup I'm using is the Penn spinning reel, Ugly Stick Ultralight. I'm gonna start off with one of my favorite plugs. I probably caught every species of fish on that. It's a Rapala floating wrap. And this time of year, if the bass and other fish are on the beds and they see that thing popping up top, they're gonna whack it. So we're gonna see what happens. And so the very first cast hung up right there in that branch overhanging, and I couldn't get it off and snapped it off. And I'm contemplating whether to go in knee deep in this thing and get my damn $7 lure back. These wraps ain't cheap, son of a gun. So I'll switch to another one. This is why they call it fishing. I'm just a regular guy. These are super cool. They're Bass Pro Shops, really light money, and man, they look like they're gonna catch some fish. Little baby perch. So see if I can get this knot snagged. Away we go. And scoring. And this guy went after it freaking 5 times. He hit it. I lost him, and he hit it. And this guy was hungry. Let me get this guy on loose here. So this is what's doing it. Look at that. Kind of like a perch. And man, they're just loving it. I'm getting all kinds of hits on it so far. The red-winged blackbirds in the background singing their spring song, nesting and all that. Also, I got my thermocell running. This is the beginning of mosquito season. So the best investment you can make when you're bushwhacking like this is just get one of these, man. The military uses them, and they're really worth their weight in gold. I don't know, they claim a 5 or 10 foot radius that it'll keep bugs away, and it really works immediately. Well, after about 3 minutes of warming it up, but best thing you can get right there. So this is, I'm just taking a little breather. This is so shallow through here. I don't think it's, like I say, chest deep. But this is a bass heaven and pickerel, all that kind of stuff. And this time of year is probably not mandatory, but you're better off fishing at this time of year, shallow places like this, because this is, I'm sure in two months from now, you could probably walk on the lily pads through here. So about the only time you could really access this hunk of the water impoundment would be in the early spring, because it's going to get choked up. But on the other hand, if you're into fishing weedless frogs like I am, this is a heaven. This would be canoe heaven in here, and right in the back of my house. And I never really got a chance to. I'm exploring around the edges the easiest way that I can access in here. I mean, looking on the overhead Google Maps, it's directly in back of my house is probably a little more than a quarter of a mile walking in a straight line, but it's really deep brush and woods, and so exploring, taking my own advice. Let you know. So I totally had to change tactics. Really, this is, I didn't really know what to expect. It's exploratory bushwhack. So 2 and 4 pound testing, and I cut it here. It's mid-May, and it's starting to really weed up. There's very few spots along through here that you can use, and so therefore, my strategy is go to top water. So I didn't have any with me. I just lost my $7 wrap, and went to Swimmers, and so you saw the bass. But so I hiked it back home, and now I picked up a different rig. Now I think we're going to be cooking with gas here. I just got an 8 pound test. It's heavier because there's weeds here, and these bass are just going to take it and dive for the weeds. So, and now I got a few more different styles of top waters, you know, hula poppers and wraps, and I got spinner baits. So I've adapted to the conditions, try to see if I can accommodate some bass here. So we'll let you know. Also, where I was in this direction. It's fairly good sized in here, and where I was pretty remote. It's near the town's water supply. But this time I came back in on this side. It's a more public access kind of a deal. So there's more people up on this end, but this is relatively shallow. I don't think it's 4 or 5 feet across, and man, it's starting to get weedy in here real quick. So just giving you the lay. As the light gets lower, you can definitely see the spawning bed. See the circular pit, and they're all along here. That's probably sunfish on that, but yeah, it's definitely on the spawn. It's middle of May. All right, so it's getting to be the magic hour now. Once that sun goes below the horizon, and then the time till total darkness, everywhere, anywhere should blow up. So we'll see. Hang on. I got the camera in my mouth. Sonny, back and tell your grandpa. Here comes the bass section. The bullfrogs. Creedence Clearwater Revival. I can hear the bullfrogs calling me. And another Sunny. Look how black these are. The bottom must be leaves and all that to make them all this black. But you don't like the camera, but hang on, Bill. Yeah. Look at that. Look how black. It's like chromium blue, as the Steges would say. Chromium. Pretty color, huh? Cool. So onward with the progression with my Predator Stooges-like brain. But I've lost a few $7 lures in here, and I've got them back. I waded in. They were within reach. But so I'm progressively adapting to the fishing conditions, and so should you, through a new place, you know. Even though this is in the back of my house, I have no clue, and I'm adapting to the conditions. So what I got now is it's all pads, and it's all snags, and it's late May, and the fish are totally in there. You can see the fish moving under the pads, and they're staging or pre-staging for the spawn. So I got 40-pound braid, starting to use, I will use weedless frog, and 30-pound leader on there. So, you know, this is hoist them right out of there and adapt to the situation. And that's what you got to do. You know, I started off with 4-pound test, and I'm losing stuff, and I'm learning. And that's the experience, and that's fishing. And when you succeed and break the code, you're going to be catching consistent fish. And that's the point. So, let's see. Weedless, I'm using a lunker hunt, the greatest invention ever. Doesn't pick up anything. And I'll throw it right in that slop, and I just work it right on through, and it's just looks so sexy in there. I mean, it's just crazy. Right in the junk. Oh yeah, nothing like the sight of a good patch of poison ivy to wake your butt up. I didn't step in it though, I'm wicked allergic to it. But shiny leaves of 3 stay away from me, pretty much. Fish on. Played around one too many times. It's just a buck trim for Sunny. Top wire. Look at the beautiful colors. Back and get your grandpa. Oh, nice. Pickerel. Oh, you got off. I doggone it. Well, I got the jump out of him. That was a good pick. Swinging them in. It's so much fun, man. You gotta time it just right on the smaller ones. You have to time it just right as soon as they hit it. But on the bigger ones, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. They just suck it down. It's a Rapala floater. This I can catch every species of fish in fresh water with this thing, except maybe a carp. But maybe even on a day that carp are feeding on minnows. I don't know, but crazy good lure. he bit me off with a fucking pickerel. Damn, that was a nice one. Oh, there goes $6. He's got a face full of friggin' Rapala. Arg. Oh, he's got a $6 lure. That was a nice pick too. I think that might have been the one that was messing around. He ain't coming back now, but top water. That's the thing, you know, 4-pound test. It's awesome, you know, the fish can barely see it and it gives great action to the lure, but you get the toothy critters, unless they bite it on the lure and not on the line. If it's on the lure, you're probably gonna land them. If it's on the line, that's what happened. Oh, it was a nice one. It's a good sized pick too. It looked like a couple pounds anyway, which is big for a pickerel. But well, that's fishing. Yeah, nice size yellow perch. And normally if I had a bunch of these, I'd fillet these up, but I'm gonna let this guy go. Oh yeah, here we go. Fish on. What you got? Another bull sunny. Nice looking colors. Swallow that one. And another one. They just keep coming. And they just keep coming. I think I might have this one foul hooked. Not really. Man, these are all bull size. You can have a hell of a feed with these fish. Yeah. Look at the size of that. Damn. Good size. Good palm sized. Another one. I'm gonna start saving these and frying these up. So as you can see, you can have a blast. I'm literally in that direction. It's about, my house is about 1/8 of a mile, but it's thick woods, and I'm gonna get a drone and I'm gonna take overhead surveillance and try. I tried bushwhacking before, like I said at the beginning, but I never made it through here. And but the point is, I'm sure within everybody's really close to home, you can find a fishing hole. I mean, this is the first time I really gave this spot a good try. It's a blast, man. It's got everything, bass, you know, I mean, everything Massachusetts has to offer. I'm sure there's some hogs in here, and by the size of the pickerel, they're freaking some good sized fish in here, and it's really thick, and that's why they, you know, if you can figure out how to get them out of there, you're gonna get the fish. So please, it's very important for you to subscribe and like for my channel here, and it really helps the channel well. My name is Paul K. This has been Saturday Mornings Outdoors, and I believe by next week I'll be down the Cape Cod Canal for the summer, so giving you guys the reports. It's getting on nigh June, so it's about that time. But hope you enjoy this edition. Try the little spots, the little around locally. You'll have a blast.